you right now how to prepare your paper for your tie-dyed paper project. What we're going to be using is this very nice thin tissue paper. Tissue paper is really thin type of paper like this, and normally you use this for wrapping presents and things like that, but in art we have a lot of uses for tissue paper, and this is what we're going to do with it today. You can get tissue paper just about anywhere from different stores around town, things like that, so it's easy to find. So I'm going to show you how to do a particular type of fold, and this is a regular type of paper fold that we would use for tie-dyeing, but you would also use this particular fold for other paper projects as well. And this is called a fan fold. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you how to do a fan fold. The first thing you do is you're going to lay your paper out on your table and flatten it out a little bit. Try to flatten your paper out. And then pick up your paper by the edge and then fold it about 2 inches. Press it down. Okay, that's how you get started. Then you pick it up and you're going to flip it over and fold it in the opposite direction. The same width, about 2 inches. We want to make big fat fan folds because that's how you get great big pretty colors in your paper. So you keep flipping it back and forth. Press down, turn it over. Press down. And keep doing that until you get to the end of your paper. Fan folding is fun. I used to do this when I was young. I would take some of my favorite artwork sometimes. I don't think my teacher liked me very much doing it, but I used to take some of my artwork and I would make fans out of it. And then I would just sit there at my desk and fan away. So here we are, we're almost done with our fan fold, and this is what your paper will look like once you have folded it completely into your fan fold. All right, the next step in this process is we're going to take the paper that we have fan folded so nice and our edges are folded down. We're going to do what's called a football fold. Next, football folding is when you take the edge of your paper right here, you're going to fold it over so it matches the other side and then press it down. Okay, I'll do that again. Take this edge, fold it over until it touches the other side and press it down. Press down your fold, and then the next step is you're going to take this corner here and fold it up. And then you're going to press down this part. You're going to keep doing this until you run out of paper. So I'm going to take this edge and fold it over to this side. Press down the edge. What am I going to do next? I'm going to go up and fold over to this side. Okay. Then I'm going to go over this way. Football folding is what we used to do with a little paper game that we would play football after we folded our paper this way. It was fun. Okay, and keep pressing. Fold it up. Fold it that way. Fold it up. Fold it that way. And then when you get to this part, you just go like that. And then you can take this little edge and just tuck it under until you have a nice little triangular shape. All right, now it's time to start applying the paint to our footballs that we just made. Remember, we spent some time fan folding, and then we did a football fold. So now, in order to get our beautiful tie-dyed paper, we're going to use the liquid watercolors. These are liquid watercolors that have been poured into a little cup. These are liquid watercolors. They're similar to the kind of watercolors that you use in a kit, but these are all liquid and you can pour them out. So in each cup I have some liquid watercolor. I have yellow, magenta, and blue, and there's about 2 tablespoons of liquid watercolor and about 1 tablespoon of plain water. So you have 3 corners on your football. 3 corners. It's a triangle, right? So we have 3 corners. And we're going to dip each corner into a different color. And when I dip it, I'm going to dip this corner about as far as it'll go, about to there. So here's how you do it. Take the corner and you dip it in. And you can press it down a little bit, but you want to hold it into this liquid for about 5 seconds. So 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4 banana, 5 bananas. Okay, shake it off. Then the next color I'm going to take is the magenta. So I'm going to dip this part into the magenta, 5 seconds. So 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4 banana, 5. Wow, look at magenta. That's a strong color. Okay, and the last color will be the blue. Place that in. You may have to tilt it a little bit to get a good dip. That's about 5 seconds. All right, once you're done, you need to let this sit. That's why I have a paper plate here. And I have a little bit on my fingers, but no big deal. It washes right off. I'm going to do this again. Okay, here we go. We're taking our first corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here's my second corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my third corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when you look at this, you see that there's a little bit of white there. That's going to be a really pretty piece because you're going to have your magenta, your blue, your yellow, and some white in there too. That's going to make a really pretty piece of paper. But I wanted to point out something really cool. So take a look at how these colors, as they are soaked up by the paper, look how cool it is when they bleed together. So we're getting yellow and blue on the color wheel. If you think about that, you mix these 2 colors, you have your primary yellow, your primary blue, and look what happened. You automatically made your secondary green right there. Isn't that cool? So you get to learn a little bit about color theory when you're doing this as well. So let's do one more. We're going to dip in the yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, magenta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That magenta is strong. Here we go with the blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, See, I still have paint left over to do some more. And there you are. These triangles now will need to dry overnight, and they need to be put in a place where maybe some sun can heat them up a little bit. Make sure they're in a nice place where they can dry. It'll take at least overnight or maybe a little longer for them to dry before you go to unfold. All right, here it is, and it's all dry, but you want to make sure it's really dry. So you pick it up and feel of it, make sure that it's dry. Maybe you hear it crackle a little bit. And then you're going to carefully unfold this. If the paper still feels wet, you don't want to unfold it yet. You want to leave it alone, maybe even for an afternoon until it is totally and completely dry. So when you go to unfold, you're going to put this down and very gently unfold it. Don't try to force it if it's stuck together a little bit. Sometimes when paper gets wet and then it dries together, it wants to stick together a little bit, but it's not glue and it's not going to stay stuck together. But you may have to just gently unfold it. So here I am at this part. And then the next step is you want to unfold the fan fold. So we're going to open this up to the middle very carefully, gently spread it out. Pretend your fingers are like little butterfly fingers, just very gently pulling it apart. Okay? And each little fan part needs to be pulled out. And as you can see, I'm just going very, very slow. If you try to do it too fast, you might rip it. And then if you rip it, that's going to be a piece of ripped paper that you may not be able to use for your project. And you worked very hard making this paper, so you want to make sure you unfold it so that you have one really good sheet of paper. And look how pretty this is. This is where you can see when you dipped into the paint what your results are. Look how the colors bled into each other when they were wet, and they stayed in those beautiful shades of greens, oranges, yellows. You just about have all of the colors of the color wheel right here on your paper, along with some white, which I like to see. So we're going to open, 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 open. Take your hands and just, oh, little butterfly. Pretend your fingers are little butterfly fingers and just press it down. And there it is. There's your sheet of tie-dyed paper ready to make something beautiful. Okay, so here is a piece of the beautiful tie-dyed paper that we have made. It has a blend, lots of blended colors. It is ready now to be used for our projects. But I want to talk a little bit more about tie-dye itself and some of the ways that it is used. Like I said, this is a t-shirt that's been made using the fan fold. So there's all kinds of folding techniques for paper. In this particular project, we fan folded and then we football folded. In this shirt, this was also, portions of this t-shirt were fan folded, and some of it was gathered up into different types of folds and dipped into, look at all the colors it was dipped into, several, to make this beautiful pattern. That's what tie-dye is all about, is making beautiful patterns as a decorative process for all kinds of objects, especially clothing, but you can also do it with great sheets of paper as well. So the next project we're going to make will be a snowflake. Okay, so to make this beautiful snowflake, we're going to use this great tie-dyed paper. And the way that snowflakes can be made as large or as small as you want. I'm going to make one that will fit on a piece of construction paper, which is about 9 by 12. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this. This is a very large sheet of paper right here, so I don't need all of this. And there's so much more you can do with this paper besides cutting snowflakes. So we're going to save that for something else. And then I'm going to cut this again. To make a snowflake about this size, I need a sheet of paper about this size. So there's lots of different ways to cut a snowflake. I'm going to show you my way. Okay, I have a square. I like to work from a square, but you can work from a rectangle sheet of paper as well. So fold it in half. Press it down. Okay. Fold it in half again. Okay. Now you have a smaller square, so you're going to take this corner and fold it over to this corner. And then you're going to fold it this corner over to this corner. Okay. So this is how it looks. You have a folded sheet. You have a little bit left over down there. If you want to, you can take your scissors and just trim that off. So you're going to start on the folded edge. This is the folded edge of your paper. These are open edges. This is where it's all folded together, and make some cuts. Now, there's all kinds of ways to do this. I like to make a point on this side and then make a point on this side. Just pull that out, and that's how you get these points. To get these cuts in the middle, always cut on this folded side first. You can cut another little triangle out, and then turn it over and cut on these other sides. Cut another one out, and then slowly open it up. Very slowly. Since you're working with tissue paper, this is delicate, but it's so pretty because of the beautiful tie-dye process that you did. And when you open this, you will start to see that you have a very pretty snowflake. And it's similar to the one, this one's a little bit more decorative, but it's similar to the snowflake that we have on display. So this is how you make a snowflake with your beautiful tie-dyed paper. Okay, so now it's time to take this beautiful snowflake that we've cut out, and we're going to glue it down and put it on display. The best type of glue to use for this is a glue stick. And you'll need a sheet of paper that's big enough to properly display your snowflake. I like to just center my snowflake right on top of the paper. And I'm going to hold it down with one hand and just lift up one of the corners and put a spot of glue on it and glue it down. This paper is so thin, if you were to use wet glue, what would happen is the glue would just soak through, and then you'd have a big wet spot on your paper that would mess with some of the colors that you have too. It would fade out your color. So just a little bit of glue stick is all you need, just on the outside, maybe a little bit in the middle. To get under there, put a little bit on the middle to hold it down, and you can display your snowflake.